the Great Pyramid's latitude is coincidentally the same as the speed of light. Did you guys know this? Okay, I didn't really know this. All right, now, it was one of those ones, like I said, it kind of comes around from time to time as a meme. And I see it and I was like, whatever, right? So at the last second here, I was about to just cancel this. And I saw this and was like, I wonder if there's anything to this. So I'm reading the article here and digging in a little bit with AI. And it seems there might be something to this. So check this out. Okay, straight from the article. So it says, and this is exactly the point of, I'll just read it. Shut up, Mike. Spend long enough on the internet and you will likely be met with a post informing you that the speed of light is 299,792 and 458 meters per second. Meters. Isn't that adorbs? And the latitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza is 29.9792458 degrees north. Okay. Wild. Well, those numbers are identical. Except, of course, the point, the 29 point. But if you trace just the characters out, it seems to me as if there may be something here, okay? And again, so straight from the article, and this is the part that got me going, okay, wait a minute now. Is this true? This seems like one of those things that's kind of a little bit too good to be true for the conspiracy-minded person, right? So straight from the article. And again, it is very short and just kind of does the fact check on it, okay? From iflscience.com. So, but is it true? And if so, is it a coincidence? So the answer to the first question is yes. This is true. So light travels at 299,792, 458 meters per second in a vacuum, the absolute speed limit of the universe. Now, the weird part about this is, of course, to me, specifically when I started thinking about it and it kind of started locking into my brain here, I was like, wait, so we're literally talking about the greatest wonder of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid, who has just an unbelievable amount of sort of conspiracy spaces flowing through it, right? This whole bit. And, there's a lot to it. There's, the tomb of Osiris underneath. And I mean, they're finding new chambers. There's a new article, which I'll dig up in a second here. But there's a new article discussing they found a huge cavity beneath the Giza Plateau, which they're kind of speculating on what that might be. All kinds of wild stuff, right? With the actual ancient, the old, the Great Pyramid, right? Yeah, I don't need to tell you what it is. You guys know the Great Pyramid of Giza. So, but it is, exactly identical here. Okay, at least in digits, 9 digits long. Okay, now the weird part, it says, as for whether this is a coincidence or not, the answer is also yes, because it's describing, of course, because we live on a globe. Yeah, just everybody calm down, and it goes right. The actual latitude would be. Other places on Earth would also have this exact latitude, right? Or is it? Yes, latitude. So, okay. So anyway, for a start, the ancient Egyptians, and this is how they're going to say that it's just an obvious coincidence. And I was with them on the meters. But anyway, so even if they had figured out the speed of light centuries ahead of its measurement by Danish astronomer Ole Romer in 1676, and for some reason chose to keep it quiet about it, they did not work in meters, primarily because meters were not defined until 1791 CE, the Common Era, of course. But as Snopes points out, ancient Egyptians used cubits, with the speed of light being around 571,033,253 cubits per second. So we have a measurement discrepancy, okay, as part of this. Except, what if this is, now here's my conspiracy brain, and when I saw this and realized that this was actually true and not just some weird conspiracy that you see on the interwebs, it made me wonder. It made me wonder about sort of the temporal aspect of this, because I am a weird guy and I do like to consider wild possibilities. And there's a bunch of things in the news as well that's kind of talking about these massive mathematical codes, okay? And we'll get to that in a second here as well, as part of the ideas that kind of came together as, in a 10-minute flash of inspiration here, way late. Once again, sorry for being late. I am not, I don't pride myself on being late. It's one of those things. I'm a little embarrassed, but what can you do? I was about to cancel, so here we are anyway. But okay, so point is this. This is true. So this is apparently true, and it is in meters, okay? So we have a discrepancy, cubits, meters. There's kind of a problem there. Except still, what if this was maybe planned a long time ago by cosmic high priests or something. Okay, what if the secrets of the cosmos were actually available at some point to the ancients, and maybe this is sort of a way to get our attention once we achieved the meters, okay, as part of this. And look, I don't know the answer, of course, but it of course means that we might live in a simulation. It of course means we might live in, again, the intelligent design stuff we've talked about. It might mean all manner of wild things, because of course it opens up sort of a can of worms. Okay, a can of cosmic worms. Cosmic. Yeah. Okay, so that's where we start, and this is the wild part of it, is that it's true. Again, 299,792, 458 meters per second. Exact latitude of the Great Pyramid at Giza is the same numbers, 29.979, 2458 degrees north. Weird, right? I thought it was kind of weird, and even a little more shocked when I found out it was actually true. Like, okay, well, that's super wild. So what I did, and which is what kind of grabbed us and put us in this place right now with a half-baked idea instead of a quarter-baked idea, is I put that into the new latest AI. That would be ChatGPT 4.0 actually, and I asked it what the odds actually would be of this being an actual just a coincidence, as they're describing, right? This is the mainstream take is it's just a coincidence. It's nothing to see here. It was qubits and meters. Throw it away. There's a lot of places on Earth that also have this, same actual degree north longitude latitude. Sorry, and so so I'm like, all right, well, fine. We can go with that. That's cool by me. But however, then I started thinking in terms of, okay, so if this is the case then, and maybe, just maybe, somebody way back when knew something about this, and again, we're going deep in the conspiracy realm here. So hang tight on that and realize there's no truth to be found here, just a hip shot at theories, especially from a guy who's not even a mathematician or even a guru in any sense, or I'm just me. All the disclaimers do apply to this conversation as well as all the conversations we have, just ideas. But so back to this. Now, if this is, so the question becomes, one, did you know this? That's the first question tonight, of this, the Great Pyramid and the actual latitude being the same, up to 9 digits, which is incredibly wild. ChatGPT said this, by the way, regarding that. I think it's 1.1 and 1.8 million to 9 digits that it would be a coincidence. Okay. And so that, to me, being a guy that plays a little bit of poker, is like, wait, what? 1 in 1.8 some million? I'll find the exact thing here in one sec. I'm not as all set up as I usually am, because I'm running late, and you know how you get when you're late. You're a little frazzled and stuff. But yeah, let me pull the exact details. And so oddly enough and crazy enough, the AI was going through all this math, and like I said, I'm not a mathematician, so I obviously didn't check it. So there's that, right? Because I'd still be scratching my chin here, wondering what the hell it's talking about. But it did said, I'll read this part to you, and so you can see exactly what we're talking about. So the Earth's latitude ranges from blah, blah, blah. It's doing the things, so the precision level and the probability. So the probability show that the odds of this alignment happening by chance are extremely low. Approximately 1 in 1.8 million is the actual number that this came up with actual mathematical. Right. So that seems very, very unlikely to be a coincidence. Am I right? Okay, so it got me thinking, and then here we go. So the next question is, one, did you hear about this weird pyramid thing with the speed of light and the latitude being the same to 9 digits? Because that's wild. The second thing is it possible that this is intentional in some way, shape, or form? Because that's where my mind went next. I was like, hold on now, is this? How could this be possible? How could it be not a coincidence as part of the larger conversation, larger ideas, right? And so I thought, wouldn't you know, that, where are we? Yeah, okay. I thought a number of ideas. And specifically, one is sort of that temporal aspect of maybe we were supposed to notice this once meters came online, which was, again, what they say, 1509. We started using the meters, and then that's when this idea would sort of sync together, sort of a temporal anomaly of our ancestors sort of calling to the future, making us aware that they were aware that we would discover this at a particular point in time. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So we start to get in this weird temporal aspect. So the question is, do you think anything like that, and it is way out there, do you think anything like that could be possible at all? At all? And I get if you're like, no, hell no, come on, Mike. I get it. But we are drinking the maybe juice and talking wild things by dark of night, as we are wont to do on this show. So that's where we begin. And sorry for the late start. It is I almost just canceled, but this one came like I said, like a bolt of blue out of a bolt of blue. So I can't even, I'm beside myself. Anyway, so quick break. Let me catch my breath and steel my nerves and settle in for more troubled minds coming up and wild ideas with this pyramid. I'm calling this the pyramid code tonight because, well, you'll see why. You'll see why. It seems like this might be the beginning of a temporal unfolding of a cosmic code that is like breadcrumbs to us in the coming days. So here's the deal, right? I peeled the little part out of the mathematics here. So if you guys are into math at all and you want to look at the actual statistics of this, and so this is what GPT pulled out, okay? Talking about GPT-4o, talking about this actual 1 in 1.8 million of this being a coincidence, which again seems very thread the needle cosmically, seems very, let's call it unlikely. Let's call it a very, very incredibly unlikely coincidence at those odds. And those odds are what very Han Solo, right? Never tell me the odds, right? That's how big this is. It's like you don't want to know the odds in this case of this being an actual coincidence. And so, of course, well, the creative mind starts to go, well, okay, so how could this possibly not be a coincidence? And that's where my mind is at. And that's where we begin tonight. But a whole slew of ideas cascaded through my mind in a very short span there, which or otherwise I would have just canceled. But so specifically this, and so where do we start? How do I explain this? Again, like I said, this is what happens when you half bake an idea and show up for a show, which is why I don't like doing this. But so what if the Great Pyramid is again the greatest wonder of the ancient world? Okay, the thing that everybody in the world knew then, the thing that everybody in the world knows now. Okay. It is one of those things where you basically, if you grew up and talked to any humans for any period of time, anytime since they built this thing to the modern day, you knew about the Great Pyramid at Giza and the Giza Plateau even, and the larger aspect of it. Okay. So if it is the pinnacle of, let's say, human thought in that sense of human understanding and historically sort of an anchor, okay, like a historical anchor that everybody knows, and it is stuck in that temporal zeitgeist of people's minds. Okay, you see what I mean? Temporal zeitgeist. But here's the problem with this. It makes me wonder about all the rest, and I wish I had a little more time. Maybe we'll circle back and look at this, maybe in a different sense, soonerish. But I was thinking this. Okay, so if this is the one, and it's basically pointing at the speed of light as some coincidence, and we're supposed to discover this sometime around 15. What was the thing? Let me read it real quick. Like I said, the meter was created in 1676. Okay, so in the year 1676, there would have been some sort of a temporal convergence where we were supposed to discover, well, maybe we hadn't discovered the speed of light yet, have we? No, we didn't, not till Einstein. So I don't know, maybe a temporal convergence in that from that point on, we entered a new era. Okay, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, you see what I mean? I'm very like Sunny, what's Sunny in Philadelphia with the chart and the, doing that stuff right now. But is any of this possible? It becomes the question, okay? Because one in 1.8 million is pretty out there. That's pretty. You don't want to bet on that because it ain't gonna happen. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. That's a massive odds against, of course. And so, is this any of this stuff possible that it's anything more than a coincidence? And to me, I thought maybe. I mean, it seems like a 9-digit coincidence that's big. That's very big. Okay, so anyway, a couple things came to mind, and specifically, and many of you guys have heard of this, by the way, and this is some Graham Hancock stuff, exactly, right? So many of you have heard of this, and this is an oldie but a goodie. This goes back several years, back to a book from 1997 called The Bible Code, which had a sequel called The Omega Code. If you guys know anything about that, let me read just a little bit. So the Bible Code, also known as the Torah Code, is a purported set of encoded words within a Hebrew text of the Torah that, according to proponents, has predicted significant historical events. The statistical likelihood of the Bible code arising by chance has been thoroughly researched and is now widely considered to be statistically insignificant, as similar phenomena can be observed in any sufficiently lengthy text, which you would expect from Wikipedia, right? Although Bible codes have been postulated and studied for centuries, the subject was popularized by those two books. And so, equidistance, letter sequence method, all kinds of stuff, right? You guys have seen this, and it is very sunny in Philadelphia, making the connections and doing all the rest of this stuff. But so the question becomes, if something like this is, squint your eyes possible, then what about a larger, maybe cosmic construct that was supposed to unfold to us as maybe keys of some, I don't know, some actual significance? And so what was it? 1676 is when they invented the meter, the measurement, what Einstein and the speed of light, I believe it was. What was that? Early 1900s. So you see, squint your eyes a little bit. Is any of this stuff possible? And do you guys believe any of this stuff? And that becomes a second layer of questions here. And I've got a whole bunch of ideas that kind of cascade from this, but I don't want to drop them all immediately. But that's basically the premise where we start tonight. And I think specifically when you're talking about cosmic codes, this can get incredibly large. Like the Bible code itself, again, the Torah is just the first 5 books of the Bible. And so you're like, well, maybe, right? Maybe. I'm open to those ideas that maybe there is sort of these temporal codes built into maybe even the Bible itself would be a perfect version of this, because like I said, the Great Pyramid temporally is locked into our temporal zeitgeist, okay? Everybody that was alive anytime between then when they built it and now has heard of this damn thing, okay? And everybody in modern times since, the year, whatever it was, Constantine, everybody's heard of the Bible, okay? So I do wonder if these are the type of temporal zeitgeist sort of anchor points, as I described, maybe the pyramid there, that there are secrets locked into these things. And like I said, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not anything. I'm not channeling anything but myself. And so the idea came to me and I thought, wait a minute now, there's this we're talking about, and something kind of new to me, because I found out just a minute ago that this was actually real, and it was 9 digits accurate, which is a little creepy, very numerological, cosmically, which makes you go, what the hell's going on, right?